Alright, I have another jam-packed video for you this week. This may or may not be the last time I do this. It's just really time-consuming because I'm listening to everything I can find that's coming out and then picking out what I think are the best tracks of the week. There are a few songs from the first couple weeks of January that I just found, and then we'll get into this week's tracks. And I'm still way behind, so I'm referring to the 4th week of January. I will list these in alphabetical order, and one of these will be deemed my track of the week. If I mispronounce anything, I apologize. Always listen to the song first and the music video second. Links to the songs will be in the description. Let's get it started. From the first week of January, Class Struggle by Dog Park Dissidents. A really energetic and passionate pop-punk song. There are 6 songs from the second week of January, starting with Sayaka by Dreamwell. This is a screamo song, another one with a lot of passion, and I really like the guitar in this one. And the artwork is kind of cool. I like that blend of colors. Natsu by lōland. Some really vibey lo-fi hip-hop, only 2.5 minutes. It's pretty much an instrumental with some ad-libbing going on in the background, and I like the artwork. It kind of captures the vibe of the song. Orphan by Swiss und die Andern. A nice and heavy song coming out of Germany. They're labeled as punk rock, but this one sounds more like alternative metal. Really love the guitar riff, reminds me of Dir en Grey, another one that's only 2.5 minutes. Will I See You Again by The Sacred Souls. It has an old soulful sound to it, of course. I really like this, and I can kind of relate to the lyrics. Only Human by the Utopiates. Their debut single, some indie rock. I like the lyrics and the guitar work, which ends in a really nice guitar solo. The artwork is pretty trippy. Looks like something you would see through a kaleidoscope. In the Heart of Toys by Yorsh. These guys come from Russia. It's an alternative rock song that's got some pretty good guitar work and a really catchy chorus. You won't be able to find this one by typing it in, so you will have to check the link in the description of the video. And we have a couple from the 3rd week of January, and they are Teardrop by Hayley Williams, lead singer of Paramore, who recently ventured out to do some solo stuff. This is a cover of the song by Massive Attack. It has a little bit of a different vibe, yet it stays faithful, but it's her vocals that really shine in this one. And I really like that artwork. And State of the Union by Marlon Craft. Some political hip-hop. I'm not too big on politics, especially when they're right in your face like they are here, but I can't deny the lyricism, and he does manage to be captivating alongside the simple instrumentation. Alright, I have 25 tracks for you this week, starting with a song I do not know how to pronounce. Lapazule by 22 for Silicon Alone. I had these guys on my last video. I actually commented on their music video for that one. 0 + 1 = 2, and they sent me this song. What I really like about these guys is just how much atmosphere they're able to create. It has this orchestral sound, but it's really dark, and the vocals almost sound like something that wouldn't work with this kind of instrumentation, but they really pull it off. Another great song by the Belgium Boys. That kind of has a nice ring to it. Wait by Angel Haze. Some hardcore hip-hop with almost a horrorcore vibe to it. A really confident flow and delivery. All I'm going to say is name one other mainstream female rapper that has this kind of talent. Well, I like the artwork too. Rhubarb Road by Burrito Brown. It's a really short and to the point lo-fi hip-hop song with positive vibes. Only 2 minutes. It's mostly an instrumental, but there's a little bit of singing in the second half and ad-libbing throughout. Anadonia by Chelsea Wolfe and Emma Ruth Rundle. A word meaning inability to feel pleasure, and that's a good idea of what you're going to get from this song. It's really dark and moody, with 2 really good vocal performances and harmonization. Sounds a little like Mazzy Star, and definitely check out the music video. It incorporates stop motion and also captures the vibe of the song. I love it. Peach by Chevelle, my favorite band. This song makes me think of Violet from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Blowing up like a blueberry and having to go to the juicing room. Maybe they took her limbs off. Who knows? But this is a really ominous and cryptic song, and as with the other songs released from the upcoming album, it really sounds unlike anything they've ever done. It's heavy in parts, the screaming is used sparingly and to full effect. Pete's vocals and guitar work are always on point, and I love that album artwork. United by Corey and the Wong Notes, featuring Antoine Stanley. An uplifting song calling for unity that has elements of pop, soul, and funk. Check it out. Magic, the Igloo Ghost Remix by Kyushi. It's kind of like Magic. It has this dreamlike quality to it. Reminds me a lot of Bjork. Only 2 minutes. I think I like this one better than the original, and I really like that artwork. It definitely captures the vibe. Ceremony by Deftones. Love Deftones. They're one of my favorite bands. This is off of their recent album, Ohms, which took me a few listens to really appreciate. And I love that minimalist artwork they did for the album cover. I don't even know what to say about this one. It's kind of dark and atmospheric. Sometimes words just can't do a song justice. But hey, less is more. Check it out. Or else. Dream Weapon by Genghis Tron. These guys used to be a cyber grind band from what I've read. Their name makes sense in that context. This looks to be their first piece of music in 12 years. I'm not really familiar with cyber grind, but this is supposed to be a departure from that sound. This is like a fusion of progressive metal and math rock. It sounds really unique. I love it. And the artwork kind of reminds me of the monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey. I dig it. And the music video is pretty cool too, so check that out. Everything is Changing by Hayden Casey. This is a mix of synth pop and dream pop. Reminds me of Sufjan Stevens. It has a really catchy chorus and a really cool vibe, and I dig that artwork. Immune by Jensen McRae. I'm usually not a fan of this kind of vocal styling that you hear in the verses, but man, just listen to the lyrics, and especially that chorus. She sold me. I really love this. This is somebody you should keep your eye on. Alright, this is where I start sucking on an icebreaker because I'm having a really bad dry mouth, and it's just getting really hard to get through this. I'm having like a hard time trying to say things the way that I want to say them. But we're going to try to get through this video. I Need You by John Batiste. It's fitting to have this one on here as he worked on an album with Corey Wong last year. And just like that song, this one is really uplifting. And it's only 2.5 minutes, and I think I heard some Stevie Wonder and Forrest Gump references in there. I love it. And definitely watch the music video. It makes it even more infectious. Jadeen's Escape by Kesh. Not to be confused with Kesha. I can't really pinpoint what genre you could classify this as. It's listed as art pop, glitch pop, UK bass, alternative R&B, ambient pop, trip hop, experimental hip hop, progressive electronic, and trap. It's nearly 6 minutes, so you gotta be just a little patient with it, but it's really rewarding. It's got kind of a dreamy atmosphere, and she kind of sounds like Britney Spears. I just remember that period of time when Chevelle used to have bald Britney Spears on their drum head. But yeah, I love this song, and the artwork is kind of cool too. O-N-E, or I could just say One, by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Some psychedelic rock from a band I've heard experiments with so many different types of genres. I haven't went through their whole discography, but I've always liked their psychier stuff like this. And the music video is cool, so check that out, because Penguins, Breast Milk. How do you like that transition? This is a song by the Koreatown Oddity. It's a hip-hop song, and yeah, it's about breast milk. It's pretty funny. It's only 2.5 minutes, great flow, the music video is neat, love the Dave Chappelle sample at the end, and gotta love the artwork. Black Shuck by Long Distance Calling. I remember hearing these guys at least a decade ago, and I remember really liking them. It's a post-rock song that builds up, but it's on the shorter side, so it doesn't end in this amazing finish or anything like that. It's just a really good instrumental. The artwork looks like something out of a horror movie. I like it. Conga by Meek Mill, Leslie Grace, and Boy Wonder. I almost didn't want to put this on here because I wasn't too fond of the rapping at first, but it grew on me. It's a modern update of the classic by Gloria Estefan's group Miami Sound Machine. You've probably heard it in a movie or a commercial. I know it mostly from The Master of Disguise. Leslie Grace does a really good job on this one. It's super infectious, and I've listened to it quite a bit. Sounds of Blue by Morchiba. It's labeled as down-tempo, which is supposed to be a low-intensity form of electronic music. It has a nice atmosphere and some sultry vocals. And check out the music video. Try by Ollie Steele featuring Ian Kenny. Ollie Steele is the guitarist for the band Monuments. I've heard of them, but I don't think I've ever listened to them. Ian Kenny is the vocalist of Birds of Tokyo, and one of my favorite bands, Carnival. It has some really unique guitar work, sounds a little proggy, and maybe some math rock in there as well. But it's the vocal performance by Ian that really sold me on this one, especially the chorus here. It really sounds like something that would fit in with Carnival. And there was a song by Of Mice and Men that I had in a previous video. I knew some of the vocals in the chorus reminded me of someone, and here he is. And is that supposed to be Medusa in the artwork? Kinda cool. I know I'm probably gonna butcher this one. Violin Concerto Number 1 in D major, Opus number 19, Movement 2, Scherzo Vivacissimo by Orchestre Philharmonique de Radio France. Some modern classical music for you. Miko Frank is the music director, and I think Hilary Hahn is a feature. I kinda envision this one as a chase scene. I like it. And I know the cover isn't much, but it's very pretty nonetheless. The Machine and Tech by Tech, featuring Conway the Machine. Some East Coast hip-hop. I really like the beat on this one, but it's a good song overall. Fake Woke by Tom Mcdonald. Now, I've never liked this guy's music. I mostly just didn't like how it sounded. But then his song People So Stupid came out, and now this song. The only two that I've heard that I've liked so far. Both of them seem to be the perfect culmination of everything he's trying to do, which is, well, in a way, piss people off. He mostly writes in satire, which is something I've always liked, and he doesn't really take himself too seriously either. But enough about him. I like the guitar line in this one. He mentions Eminem, and a lot of people saw it as a diss. I don't really see it that way, but he kind of has that old fire and passion that we saw early in Eminem's career. Of course, he's nowhere near that level. But yeah, I like seeing this side of Tom. The music video is kind of simple, but I think it does enhance the song, and I like the one lyric change he made that you won't hear in the audio version. Pick or Pluck by Trig and Gusset. Some dark jazz for you. It may be dark, but it has a cool vibe to it. It's not like an overwhelming darkness. By Any Means by Wave Dash. This one is labeled as drum step. It's a cross between dubstep and drum and bass. I will say I definitely like the first half better before the blatant dubstep part comes in, but it's a pretty cool instrumental with a sample at the end and some interesting artwork. I dig it. And check out the music video only if you are hoping to get a seizure for Christmas. And finally, the longest song here, clocking in at 7 minutes, we have Energy Power Vibe by Shinobi and Lazarus Man. It's labeled as Tribal House, which is basically electronic music with tribal drumming. It kind of has a dark vibe to it, but the lyrics are everything I want right now. It's high vibrational and seems to encapsulate the law of attraction. It may be long, but I wasn't bored by this at all. I really love this. And now for my track of the week. It's been really hard to pick, but if you guessed Chevelle, you were wrong. If you guessed Deftones, you were wrong. My track of the week is Jadeen's Escape by Kesh. This is a song that should be mainstream. I don't see why it isn't. There's so many different styles going on, and I just love the vibe of it. It sounds otherworldly. It really is an escape. And that sums it up for this week's weekly track recommendations. Check the songs out, like the video because it helps the algorithm, subscribe, leave a comment, and stay tuned for more rad recommendations. Drymouth, you're a bitch.